This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. I'm Jenna Wasonko. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. As investigations continue into the acute kidney injury deaths of 70 children, 4 products out of the 39 tested were found to be contaminated, according to officials of the Health Ministry and the Medicines Control Agency. The First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro on Saturday inaugurated the first mammography machine for breast cancer screening at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul. A regional skills competition to empower youths with opportunities to participate in national and international Tibet competitions was held in Basse on Saturday. And in international news, tens of thousands of people gathered at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, South Africa on Saturday to celebrate the coronation of the new Zulu king. And in sports news, the Gambian national football team, the Scorpions, will resume action next month with 2 friendlies to be played in Turkey. Well, those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Jera Bosonko, and if you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News. Now, as investigations continue into the acute deaths of 70 children, 4 products out of the 39 tested were found to be contaminated, according to officials of the Health Ministry and the Medicines Control Agency. They made the disclosure at a joint press briefing on Monday, and Sumana Isonyasi was in attendance and fastened this report.
News of child deaths linked to contaminated Indian-made syrups sparked public concern. Government has since launched an investigation to unearth reasons for the AKI deaths. Tijan Jallo of the Medicine Control Agency is a member of government's AKI investigative team. He reveals that of the 39 products tested, 4 have been confirmed as contaminated, and they are among the medicines being recalled by the ministry. He also disclosed that of the 82 cases officially registered, 70 have died. And in a sign of hope, he says 12 of the AKI patients have had their kidney functions restored.
Out of the 70 kids that died, some of the kids died without taking any medications. And out of that 70 kids, some kids, they took medications that we have tested, and the medications are not affected. They are safe to be used, but the kids only took those medications and died.
Mr. Jallo also reveals that while there are signs of maiden pharmaceutical products having possible links to the acute kidney injuries, they still cannot ascertain the exact cause of the AKI in kids that has so far claimed at least 70 lives. Nonetheless, he still warns against the use of maiden pharmaceutical products.
After analyzing those samples, 90 to 95% of those samples shows the presence of 6 different bacteria species and 3 different virus species. We also collected 3 samples from kids that are having the AKI. And out of those 3 kids, when we analyze their stool sample, all of them have bacteria present in their stool. Just to make it clear to the general public, we haven't concluded yet it is the medicine that causes it, or it is these microorganisms that have caused it.
Lamin Sambu, AKI focal person at the Ministry of Health, explains some of the symptoms of AKI in children.
But if you sit down and then see that your child has not urinated for a whole day, even an adult, usually you urinate up to 2 times in a day as an adult, let's say from morning to afternoon time. But if you stay for more than 6 hours, 7 hours, you don't urinate, you feel uncomfortable. And there's usually that pain around the lower abdomen, and this is usually very frustrating and very uncomfortable. So imagine a child not being able to urinate for 24 hours. You can imagine the excruciating pain they were going through when they had this condition.
Meanwhile, Tijan Jallo says the MCA is constrained by a lack of testing labs, adding that the lack of a good quality medicines quality control lab has hampered their work.
If you don't have the equipment and you don't have the lab, no matter how competent and efficient you are, you won't be able to analyze the medicines. Because looking at a water bottle, the pH is supposed to be 7, right? But if you don't use a conductimeter to test that water, you won't know whether the pH is 7 or it's around 6.5, 6.8 or 6.9. If we don't have the lab and the equipment, we won't be able to analyze any product. So as we speak now, we are not analyzing any medication in the country.
Among those present at Monday's press briefing is the Deputy Director of the Directorate of Health Promotion at the Ministry of Health, and Mamoudou Gassama, a health promotion specialist with the World Health Organization. Ansmane Sonyasi for QTV News.
Still on health-related matters, the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, with support from the Office of the First Lady, has for the first time got its own mammography machine for breast cancer screening. The First Lady inaugurated the facility on the sidelines of a breast cancer awareness campaign in Banjul. Mamoudou Lamin Choi has more.
The Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital organizes a breast cancer awareness campaign, beginning with a march past on the streets of Banjul. Leading and dominating the procession to the event venue are women. Breast cancer is reportedly the commonest cancer among women. WHO data records that in just 2020, there were at least 2.3 million women diagnosed with breast cancer, out of which more than 500,000 lost their lives. Dr. Ahmadou Lamin Samate is the Gambia's health minister. The minister explains the prevalence of breast cancer in the Gambia and behavioral challenge of patients.
Breast cancer is a big problem in the country and in the entire world. In the Gambia, it is the second commonest cancer in women and the third commonest cancer overall. And the mortality seems to be high. It seems to be high for the mere fact that most of our patients present late.
The Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital is the Gambia's main referral hospital and is essential in the Gambia's campaign and fight against breast cancer. This breast cancer awareness campaign was held simultaneously with a breast cancer screening exercise. Dr. Lamin Jete is the acting head of the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital Surgery Department.
The EFSTH receives on average about 1,500 patients visits every year at the specialized breast clinic dedicated to women's health from all corners of this country.
For the first time, the EFSTH now has a mammography machine to be used for breast cancer screening for early detection, diagnosis and treatment. The hospital has acquired the equipment through the support of the Office of the First Lady, which has been a major campaign for breast cancer awareness in the Gambia.
When I assumed office as the First Lady of the Republic of the Gambia, I had a dream. I was told that there was no mammogram machine in the country, and I started dreaming from that day. I fulfilled the dream. I was able to get a mammogram machine for the country. The first one, it is inaugurated today. It's in process. Another dream I will start dreaming now is to have a cancer center in the country. Help me dream in that dream.
The first to be screened using the mammography machine is Fatou Kinte, the Gender and Children's Affairs Minister, whose speech at this event stresses the need for women to report for breast cancer screening for early detection and treatment.
Breast cancer, we all understand, is on the increase in the Gambia. And if not detected on time, it can be fatal. I've been informed a few hours ago that breast cancer doesn't affect only women, but men are also affected. Actually, I was quite surprised to learn about that. But what is important is that let us all be aware that breast cancer can kill.
The Chief Medical Director of the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital thanks the Office of the First Lady for its continuous support and assures the public that EFSTH is committed to strengthening its capacity with government support. In a show of commitment to combating breast cancer in the Gambia, the Health Ministry has established a cancer control program unit to streamline its cancer response strategies. Mamoudou Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Madam First Lady, we're looking forward to that cancer center and that we're dreaming with you. Now from that, a regional skills competition to empower youths with opportunities to participate in national and international TVET competitions was held in Basse on Sunday. The program was organized by the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority, NACA, in collaboration with the Ministry of Higher Education. Alaji A.F. Jallo reports.
The regional competition is the implementation of the UNESCO Koike Youth Empowerment through Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET. for Gambian youth to test and showcase their competence while contributing to the country's development of highly skilled human resource capacity and to make them competitive in the job market. The event saw participants compete in block laying, electricity installation, floor and wall tiling, refrigeration and air conditioning maintenance, and tailoring skills. Dr. Jibril Jao, the CEO of the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority, NACA, said the competition is in line with government's plan to transform the Gambia into a competitive-based society through TVET.
Building a competency-based society is a commitment that the government of the Gambia, in order to attain high level of economic growth and to alleviate poverty through a better TVET system. We are actively working with the TVET actors and stakeholders to change the societal perception of TVET and the social stigma. TVET should be perceived as an option for professional career development and not as an area reserved for early school leavers. This competition is in line with the Gambia government's dream to transform the Gambia into a competency-based society.
Fatou Jane, a representative of the Ministry of Higher Education, said, to transform this country's education, youths must take the lead.
This skills competition is one of the activities out of the 8 activities of the UNESCO Quaker project aimed at empowering the youths through the provision of 21st century skills to be able to find decent employment, especially the girls. Therefore, this is an amazing opportunity for you to showcase your talent, your God-given talent, express your values and your passion in the skills area you have chosen.
Mamandin Sise, the Deputy Governor of URR, urges youth to see TVET as a means of securing their career and an opportunity to participate in the economic development of the country.
Youths represent the future of this country. They should be supported, guided and empowered to realize and utilize their full potentials, which will enable them to become fully independent, responsible and patriotic citizens that will immensely contribute to the development of their communities and the country as a whole.
Possessing the right skills and attitude make youths important development agents and global citizens, attract foreign investors, create job opportunities, and promote economic development, thereby alleviating poverty, reduces the crime rate, and helps the Gambia strengthen its labor market. The winners in this regional competition will participate in the national competition, and subsequently, winners in the national competition will represent the Gambia in the World Skills Competition. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alaji A.F. Jallo.
Now, congratulations to the winners from that story by Alaji A.F. Jallo. We will go for a commercial break, and when we return, we have some more local news stories for you, international as well as sports. Do stay tuned.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network. Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. And that's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow.
back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Now, UNICEF, with funding from USAID, has handed over 22 hand-washing stations constructed at various health facilities across the country to the Health Ministry. The handing over ceremony was held at the Regional Health Directorate in Farafenni on Thursday. This story by Don Williams is narrated by Lena E. Igwe-Nyiba.
The 22 permanent hand-washing stations with running water are installed at 22 health facilities in high-risk communities across the Gambia. The $2 million project was funded by USAID to promote access to clean water at health facilities and communities, as well as promoting sanitation and hygiene. Gordon Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF's country representative, delivered the handing over statement.
For me, as representative of UNICEF, it really is a tremendous honor to be here today to hand over the hand-washing stations to the Ministry of Health and the Department of Water Resources. We have been able to construct a total of 22 permanent hand-washing stations, each of which contains, or each of which has, a total of 6 hand-washing taps. These are being distributed or have been built, 5 in the Upper River region, 5 in the Central River region, 5 in the Lower River region, 2 in North Bank West region, 3 in North Bank East region, and 2 in West Coast 2 region.
The UNICEF country representative also reminded and encouraged parents to take their children for vaccination against measles and rubella.
To now encourage the women of the Gambia to also mobilize your communities to get your children vaccinated against measles and rubella.
Sharon L. Cromer, the U.S. ambassador to the Gambia, spoke about the significance of regular hand washing to prevent diseases and save lives.
These stations will reach approximately 264,000 people. Hand washing with soap and running water is critical to limit the spread of the virus. Today's hand washing is part of the U.S. government's continuing effort to prevent illness in the Gambia and around the world.
Lamin M. Fadera, program manager for WASH, spoke on behalf of the Minister of Health. He reiterated that the government recognizes the need for safe drinking water in all communities.
The government of the Gambia recognizes that safe water, improved sanitation and hygiene are essential in the improvement to the people's health and development, and in contributing to the attainment of the targets under Sustainable Development Goal.
As the COVID-19 pandemic remains a global threat, millions of people still need to heed the advice of health experts to regularly wash hands. A simple tool to promote public health, hand washing is one of the most effective ways to prevent transmission of disease, not just the coronavirus, but also diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, and other diseases. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwe-Nyiba.
From that story, we will take a look at news beyond our borders. Now, tens of thousands of people gathered at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, South Africa on Saturday to celebrate the coronation of the Zulu king, Mswezulu Ka Zwelithini. Momo Dumboj has the list of that.
This historic moment comes only once in a lifetime. Many of us will never see this historic moment again, said President Ramaphosa, who formally acknowledged the king with a giant framed certificate of recognition. The crowning, which followed a traditional ceremony in August, is the first coronation in post-apartheid South Africa, and it was a colorful display of traditional pomp and regalia. Royal regiments clad in traditional skirts, leopard skin tops, and carrying shields and sticks chanted songs of praise for their king as they slowly glided around the pitch. Women wore broad-brimmed Zulu hats and traditional wraps, and young girls in brightly colored pleated skirts and beads excitedly danced and ululated in the 85,000-seat stadium. The ceremony was given rolling live coverage across all of South Africa's largest television stations and media outlets. Among the delegates were several local and foreign dignitaries, including King Mswati III of Eswatini, who also is an uncle to the new Zulu king. Two of South Africa's ex-presidents, Jacob Zuma and Thabo Mbeki, were present as well. The coronation comes after a year of bitter feuding over the royal succession that has spilled over into the courts. The new king's father, Goodwill Zwelithini, died last year as the longest reigning Zulu monarch, having served on the throne for almost 50 years. He had 6 wives and at least 26 or 28 children. There's no consensus here. A battle for succession, a Game of Thrones, was perhaps inevitable. In his will, he had designated his 3rd wife, sister of the king of Eswatini, Queen Dlamini Zulu, the new king's mother, as queen regent. This sparked speculation that her eldest son, Prince Misuzulu, would be the next monarch. The queen, however, died suddenly a month into her regency. The unexpected death raised many questions and stirred rumors of murder plots and poisonings. The first wife launched a court bid for half of her late husband's vast estate. 2 of the daughters challenged the validity of their late father's will and alleged they had reason to believe it was forged. For many years, people had thought that the king would choose his eldest son, Prince Letuktula Zulu, as his heir, but the prince died in November in mysterious circumstances. The enthronement of King Misuzulu, whose name means strengthening the Zulus, has been welcomed by many observers. According to Sihawukele Ngubani, a professor of African languages at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and an expert on Zulu culture, it is a joyous occasion, the beginning of a new era. King Misuzulu was born in 1974 and studied at Jacksonville University in the U.S., where he lived for several years. He is married to 2 wives with 3 sons. A fifth of South Africa's population is Zulu, the country's largest ethnic group, and its monarchy has a yearly taxpayer-funded budget of more than $3 million. The Zulu monarchy is one of 8 officially recognized by the government. It does not have executive power, but is highly influential. Zulu kings are descendants of King Shaka, the 19th century leader, still revered from having united a like swathe of the country as the Zulu nation, which fought bloody battles against the British colonizers. In his acceptance speech, the king said, "I understand that history has chosen me at this time when the Zulus are facing several challenges at this time: poverty, unemployment, trust deficit in government, and traditional leadership." Many South Africans hope the new monarch will publicly support good causes, such as addressing the fight against gender violence in a country that has one of the world's highest rates of rapes and sexual assaults. For QTV News, I am Mamadou Moj.
Beautiful culture. Now from that, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. The Gambia national football team, the Scorpions, will resume action next month after missing out on playing in the September international window. They will play 2 friendlies in Turkey. Our sports reporter Momodu Kajaga has more.
The Gambia will again try to test the strength of their squad in 2 international friendlies, taking on DR Congo and Liberia in Turkey next month. After missing out on the chance to play any game in September during the international break, November's World Cup window offers a chance to sharpen the team. Scorpions coach Tom Sanfield has recently traveled to various countries to meet some potential new players, including a visit to Denmark. While there, he was pictured with Hamza Barry and Mohamedou Dramé, who both played in the Danish leagues. The training camp will be in Antalya, Turkey. The Gambia will play against DR Congo first on the 17th of November before facing Liberia 3 days later on the 20th. Coach Sanfield has told the GFF media that he will assemble 23 players for the camp, with the announcement of the squad to be made soon. The Scorpions are hoping to make a second straight appearance in AFCON 2023 and will resume their quest for a place in Côte d'Ivoire with a double-header against Mali in March 2023. The November training camp is the only available FIFA window before the resumption of the qualifiers. Thus, its importance cannot be overemphasized. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
From that story by Mamadou Kajaga, we will now recap our main headlines. Investigations continue into the acute kidney injury deaths of 70 children. 4 products out of the 39 tested were found to be contaminated, according to officials of the Health Ministry and the Medicines Control Agency. The First Lady Fatoumata Babaro on Saturday inaugurated the first mammography machine for breast cancer screening at the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital in Banjul. A regional skills competition to empower youths with opportunities to participate in national and international Tibet competitions were held in Basse on Sunday, organized by NACA. In international news, tens of thousands of people gathered at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, South Africa on Saturday to celebrate the coronation of the new Zulu king. And in sports news, the Gambia national football team, the Scorpions, will resume action next month with 2 friendlies to be played in Turkey. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Don't forget to join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.